So we are going to be creating cards of encouragement if you'd like to participate in this optional project, because right now we're not able to meet together or visit people, and some people are feeling really isolated. So a great way that we can spread some hope and positivity is by making and sending cards of encouragement. So kind of what we're looking at as we're doing this is the basic Thinking of You card model. You can go to stores and buy these cards, but there's something just a little bit more special and a little bit more meaningful when we make them ourselves. So this card was a Thinking of You card that one of my friends made, and you can see that they used some different papers, they used some stamps, and really made it really fancy. So that's a fun way to make cards. They even decorated the envelope that goes with it. And like I said, you can go out and buy fun cards. So this is a set of cards that I purchased. They have different pictures of succulents on them, and I thought they were kind of fun. But a really great way and a really cost-effective way to make cards to spread some cheer is to make them yourself. So using some basic materials, all of which, if you don't already have them, can be easily purchased at Walmart for not that much money, are basic sheets of printer paper. Again, you can get this at Walmart in their kind of office and school supplies section in big packs. I like to use markers. I am a bit of a brand snob. I do prefer Crayola to other brands, but there are all sorts of different brands of markers, crayons, colored pencils, and other coloring things that you can get and use, and they all work great. Envelopes you can choose to either make or get. You can find big boxes of envelopes like this in, again, that office, school, and art supplies area of Walmart. This one is a pack of 40. Technically, I did buy this pack at Target, but you can get similar products at Walmart. And stamps can even be purchased at Walmart. So I've got some fun ones here that have plants on them, and then I've got some basic American flag ones. If you go to the customer service desk at Walmart, you can pick up some stamps. You can also get stamps at the post office. You can order them online, but if you're looking for a place to get them in person, if you don't have any at home, Walmart and the post office are great places to do that. So let's get started with how we might go about making our card. So I've got this basic sheet of paper, and I'm going to fold it down a little bit so that it would fit nicely in an envelope. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold my paper in half, edge to edge, the hot dog or the hamburger or taco style. So I'm curving my paper over, getting those edges to line up nicely. Once I've got those edges lined up, I then come to the middle and make my fold out to the edges. So this is, again, that hamburger or taco style, so it's short and stout. I'm then gonna turn my paper and fold it in half one more time, bringing my edges to meet my edges. So I'm bending my paper over. Once I've got things lined up nicely, I can make my nice crisp fold over here. And now I'm ready to decorate and write a message in my card to spread encouragement and hope. There are lots of different phrases that you can look up, or you can make your own. I brainstormed a couple of different things that I thought might be a nice and encouraging note. So some examples were just a note to say we're thinking of you and have a great day. Just a note to brighten your day and remind you that you're not alone. Sending you hugs and warm wishes. And this might be cheesy, but we think you're great, and other fun things like that. So again, you can look up lists for yourself. I will be sharing a list with your teachers so that you can reference the ones that I thought of. Let's just start, like you know I like to do, with pencil and think a little bit about how we might want to design our card. So I'm thinking that I might do something with flowers. And I'm going to start maybe with a watering can, because there's that fun saying that April showers bring May flowers. So maybe I've got myself a watering can here. That's going to be the front of my card. And it's sending out some water. So I think I like that design. Now I can go over the design that I marked in with markers or colored pencils or crayons or some other fun coloring device, or maybe just make my marks a little bit darker with pencil if I don't have those other things. So there's my simple watering can. And I'm gonna do my water in blue, and the water is usually clear. We often describe it as being blue when we draw it. And then maybe my phrase is April showers. And I use what's called an ellipse to show that my phrase continues into the inner part of my card. Then I can open it up. And the next part of that phrase is brings May flowers. So here I might draw some flowers. Again, you can start with pencil, or you can just kind of go for it with the colors that you're using. So maybe I've got some purple flowers. And the more you take your time and the more details that you add in, really shows the person that's receiving this card that you were thinking of them and that you cared. Because it's easy to send like a quick text message or an email, but when you take the time to make something for someone, it really shows that they are important to you, that they are worth your time and your effort that you put in. So I've got some of those flowers. Maybe I make some tulips. That's a nice spring flower. A really quick, easy way to make a tulip is to do the letter U, then to cross that letter U with two kind of curved diagonal lines. So there's another letter U, crossing that U with those diagonal lines, then I can fill it in. And maybe I think we need a third kind of flower. Maybe I do kind of just a yellow scribbly flower. Another fun flower that comes out in the spring is called a marigold, and they can be all sorts of colors from yellow, yellow-orange to kind of a red-orange. All right, almost done with the picture part of things. I think I'm going to add in some green stems. And you can see that this card isn't perfect, and that's okay. That's actually part of what it makes it a little bit more personal and a little bit more meaningful. And then I could maybe write my phrase, and let's write it in pink. Bring May flowers. And then over here, I could write a more formal message to the person who's receiving our cards. These cards are going to get sent to residents at various nursing homes just to help spread some cheer, since many of them are not being allowed visitors to help keep them safe right now. So I could write Dear, D-E-A-R, resident. And then I could just say something nice and helpful. Like, may your day be as bright as a bunch of spring flowers. And then a great way to end a message is by saying sincerely. And then your name. And if you want to be anonymous, you could just say student at the school that you go to. I might say Ms. A, because that's my name. So again, real quick way, easy way to make a card. That's one style of card that you could do. If you want to have a little bit more surface to work on, more play in your card, another great way that you can make a card, here, let me just clear the roadway here, is to fold your paper in a different way. So this time I'm going to take my paper and I'm going to fold it long end to long end so that it is hot dog style. So I curve my paper over, bring those edges to meet, then I make my crease by starting in the middle and working my way out. This next part is a little bit trickier. I'm going to curve my paper over so that I've got about even portions, kind of like I'm rolling a tube. When it looks like they're about lined up, I like to hold my paper up like this to look at it. Then I can squish them flat and make my nice creases. Now my paper kind of opens up. You may have received cards like this. They're kind of fun, have hidden surprises. And again, I can write my messages and draw my pictures on the different sides of my card. So those are two different ways that you can make cards. Both are great. The reason why we fold our cards is because they need to be able to fit in an envelope. So one of the basic card sizes for envelopes is this one. And you can see that by folding my paper this way, it would fit inside. And by folding my paper this way, it would fit inside. Another basic envelope shape and size is this one. This card would fit nicely in here. You can see I could probably even fit 2 in there. For this one, it would need to be folded down a little bit more to fit into what's called a business envelope, but you could still certainly use those envelopes. You can get both sizes of those envelopes at stores like Walmart and Target. Another great thing that you can do though is you can make your own envelope. So I'm going to show you next how to fold a basic piece of paper into an envelope, and then I'll talk a little bit about what we need to write on our envelopes in order for them to actually work in the mail. So I'm going to grab a sheet of paper. I am going to start folding my paper. I'm going to do what are called training folds to help me kind of know where my paper needs to go. So first I'm going to fold it in half, edge to edge, hot or hamburger or taco style, so the short way. Then I'm going to unfold. Now I've got a nice crease line. I'll just go over it with a pencil so that you can kind of see where it is. This time I'm going to bring the edges of my paper to meet that fold in the middle. So this is folding my paper into fourths. So there's 1 and 2. Next I'm going to unfold my paper again. This time I'm going to be bringing the bottom edge of my paper to meet this fold here. I'm just going to go over it with my pencil so you can kind of see it a little bit more. So I'm curving my paper so that that edge of my paper meets that crease. Then I'm making a new crease at the bottom. Now I need to give my little flap here some sides so that my mail doesn't escape. So I'm going to fold my paper in half so that those short ends meet. Make a nice crease. Then I'm going to unfold, and just like we did before, I'm going to be folding the edge of my paper in to meet that middle crease line. So I'm folding, then I'm going to unfold, and I'm going to fold my paper in to meet that crease line. So essentially what I did is I went from half to fourths to eighths, because I don't want to use all of that by folding in, just a little bit. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm taking my edge in to meet my middle crease line, making a nice crease, and then I'm going to open it up, and I'm again going to take my edge in to meet that middle crease line. So now I've got some sides, I've got a little bit more of a pocket, my mail's not going to escape. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to fold this corner in towards the middle. Now it's not going to line up all the way, but it'll go most of the way over. I'm trying to kind of line it up with this edge of my paper here so that I'm really making a nice secure pocket for my card to go into. And I'll do the same thing on the other side. Now I have what kind of looks like a house. I'm going to fold the roof of my house down so that I have an envelope. If you want to use tape or glue to secure these parts here, or maybe even a scissors to cut right here so that you've got a nice pocket opening, you can do that. I'm just going to leave it like it is for right now. On this side of my envelope is where I need to put some important information in order for my mail to get where it needs to go. One of the things that we need to do is we need to address our card. The other thing is we need to include a stamp. I'm going to borrow the stamp here from this one. Our stamp needs to go in the upper right hand corner. So as I'm looking at my envelope and I make my letter L with my hand, I know that this side, because this is the correct letter L, is the left, which means that this side is the right. The top corner is this one. That is where my stamp needs to go. It's important that you have the stamp there, otherwise they send your mail back. Now I need to add the addresses. The top left corner is where my address goes. So I'm going to put my address. I'm going to make up an address here for secrecy. So my name goes on the top line, Ms. Anderson. You can write your first and last name. If you would prefer to be a little bit more anonymous, you could just write student of the school that you go to. Then on the next line, I am going to write my building or house number first. So I'm going to pretend that I live at 1234. And then I would write the street name. I'm going to pretend that I live on Paint Street. You can abbreviate that part of it if you would like, or you can write out the whole word. The third line is where you put the city that you live in, the state that you live in, and something called a zip code. So first you write your city. We live in Wausau. Then we put a comma and we write WI for Wisconsin. Then we write our zip code. If you live on the side of the river where we have Marathon Park and things like that, your zip code is 54401. If you live on the side of the river where the mall is, your zip code is 54403. We are sending these cards to people in nursing homes. We have two main nursing homes that we are sending our cards to. They are, one moment. Mountain View Care Center and Pinecrest Nursing Home. These two nursing homes have asked for people to send cards. You are certainly welcome to seek out another nursing home or maybe a hospital and send cards there too, as all places like hospitals and nursing homes aren't letting people come and visit people anymore. And so this way we can spread a little bit of cheer and a little bit of joy. So for instance, if I was addressing this to the people of the Pinecrest Nursing Home, I would write resident of, and then Pinecrest. And it's okay if you need 2 lines to do that first part. As long as the information is there, it'll get there. And then I start with the number for their building, 2100 East 6th Street. And then the town. This one is in Merrill, which is just a little bit north of Wausau. A comma, a WI for Wisconsin, and then their zip code is a little different from ours, 54452. And so now my card would be ready for the mail. I can seal my envelope. So for this one that I made myself, I might want to use a piece of tape or a sticker. For envelopes that you buy, either there's going to be a peel off strip, or like this one, you just need to get this wet. If you don't want to lick it, which I understand it tastes gross and we're concerned about spreading germs right now, you can either get your finger wet with some water, either from like a little cup of water, or a damp sponge works great too, and that'll help seal your card up so that it is ready to go in the mail. So remember, your cards need to have a stamp. You need to have your address in the top left, their address in the bottom right. They should have some fun pictures on them and some words of encouragement. Let's come together and spread some joy.